Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, I know it's been a very long time, but I have no excuse, guys. Life took over, motherhood took over. I think it's safe to say I'm back. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, please comment, and please subscribe. Please don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you get notifications every time I post a video. So as you guys can see, I've already done my eyebrows off camera. So I'll just conceal them and do the rest of my face. Well, I thought since my morning plans were cancelled, I might as well just shoot a video because I was already up. And a get ready with me chit chat about my pregnancy journey. Basically, it's everything that I went through when I was pregnant. It's not a birth story. It's basically leading to the events of me giving birth. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 35. I found out I was pregnant in August last year. This was during my final exams. I noticed some changes in my body. I mean, I'm not one to get very sick or get hectic period pains or stuff like that, but during that time I noticed that I feel heavier than I usually was. And it didn't make sense to me because I was going to the gym, I was working out. I just feel so different. My breasts felt harder, my body was heavier, I could get so tired so easily. And I remember B going off at me for sleeping during a movie because I always go off at him. So this time it was me, and I don't usually do that. Then I knew that something was wrong. So I told him that we should go get a pregnancy test. And he was like, okay, sure, whatever. I mean, if you I don't think he assumed, but I'm pregnant. I just said, let's just go get a pregnancy test. I said it as a joke, actually. And then he was like, okay. I went inside the pharmacy and I came back with one. And we went back home and he asked me to take the pregnancy test in his presence. Like, he doesn't want to miss anything. He wants to experience everything, you know. And I was like, okay, I will. Then I knew that I was going to take the test in the morning because apparently the first P of the day is the one that's going to give the most accurate results. So okay, I go to the bathroom, I take the test. As I'm tidying up the place, I turn to look at the results and positive. So that's when I broke the news to him. He was still sleeping and disorientated. I was like, babe, I'm pregnant. And he was like, what? And I said, I'm pregnant. You're pregnant? I'm like, yeah, I remember we bought the test. And he's like, oh shit, but I asked you not to take it without me. Okay. And then we started laughing hysterically. We started laughing. I think we were laughing because of disbelief. Because honestly, what was that? Oh, pregnant? Me? Huh? Started laughing, and after that he asked us to pray. After praying, we go on about our day. I mean, we had stuff to do. So okay, the whole day I'm staring at this positive test, this pregnancy test, and I'm like, I can't believe it, man, I'm pregnant. The thing is, I never thought I am fertile, and I know that's weird coming from a young woman, young adult. But during my early teens, back in the day, I had a cyst, I was ill, and I remember I think it was caused by a contraceptive I was taking then. So it was during the holidays, I think it was December holidays, and the family was all gathered around at my mom's home. And I was not quite comfortable because I had my period then. I think for the whole month I had my period. That's when my aunt decided to take me to the gynae because that was not normal. 30 days yonke. It was not normal. So she decided that I should go to a gynae in East London. Fine, I still remember that doctor food. You go to East London, the doctor, and he tells me that I have a cyst. And he's asking me all kind of weird questions in front of my mom, asking me if I'm sexually active, yonke laa nto. But anyways, that's what he said. He said I have a cyst and it was the size of a 5 rand coin. So a cyst is something that is found in a woman's womb, and it is a size of, well, it can grow, because mine was like the size of a 5 rand coin. So it's filled with liquid inside. So the more it goes untreated, the more it grows, and the more it grows, the more painful it becomes. So okay, the risks of having a cyst is that there's a possibility of infertility. And I think that's where I took the idea about maybe I'm part of the percentage or the population that can't give birth or that can't conceive. So that happened, and I think it was on a Friday, it was on a Thursday, and then we decided that on a Friday we're going out to celebrate. We went out to a nice restaurant and we ate out, we had a good time. And then we went to a club in 2nd Avenue and we kicked it there. At the time, I thought, well, no man, maybe I'm still too early. Like, maybe I'm a couple of days pregnant or maybe 1 week. So my man and I have shots. We have shots, I had wine. He was having ciders. There was hookah pipe. We just had a good time, man. We just were having the time of our lives, celebrating the great news that we're going to become parents now. I know that was very wrong of me to drink, but at the time I really thought that there won't be any harm done, because really I found out too early that I was pregnant, or I thought, because after we went to our first appointment with our first gynae, that's when I found out that I was actually 10 weeks pregnant. So the time I went out to drink, I was probably 4 weeks or 8 weeks. I don't know, child. So after that, we had obviously decided that we need to tell our parents. They need to know about what's happening. And I was already 2 months already, so obviously I was bound to show if I had stayed any longer without telling family. So I went home to the Eastern Cape, and he went home as well to the Free State. And I got home and my mom fetched me. No, actually I got to Queenstown and my mom fetched me from Queenstown. We went home. So I'm asking myself, but should I tell her in the car or should I just wait? She's on endlini. So I found out that she had invited my aunt because she had some big news to share with us. So I figured, no, let me just tell her first. Then we'll decide when we'll tell the rest of the family. So we get home and I tell her, no man, I did not have flu the time I told you that I went to see the doctor. I was lying. And then she looks at me and she asks, what was wrong then? And then I tell her, no, we took a test because I missed my period. We went to the gynae and the gynae confirmed that we were pregnant and Sina 10 weeks pregnant. And she was like, Daddy Aries, pregnant. And then she was like, yo, Senand. I knew it. She's like, of course. I knew that something would happen because I'm like, hey, and then she obviously starts asking about health issues and righty and how we took it. And then she shows that she's really happy for me, Shem. My mom was really happy. She was actually more excited than I was. I was actually nervous, but she was gonna react in I expect her. But she really surprised me. She was really happy. And then she was telling me that, no, Zenanda, I gave you your key. I gave you Chit-Chat on the 21st. I don't know if you say key in English, but in our language we call it Chit-Chat. I gave you Chit-Chat on your 21st birthday. Ebeke lengakuthumi uba uyomitha, but mdala and usegqiba isikolo, so mna bendilindele le nto, and I think I'm excited and ready to be a grandmother. That's what she said. So the following weekend, there was a family gathering, and we went, and that's where she broke the news to the rest of our family members. She told the rest of our family, she told my aunts, my older brother, she told my older cousin sister. So everybody is starting to look like everyone is just smiling. So obviously, I knew that at that point my mom had already told them, and that was that on my side. Everyone was just so accepting, everyone was so helpful, everyone was just concerned about my health. I'd be lying if I'd say that my family was not supportive. Those people were very supportive from day one. They showed me a lot of support, they gave me a lot of support, and they just made the whole journey easier for me, because they showed that we are here for you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call us. And if you feel like you're getting sick, quickly call us, so that so we know we know the things that people go through when they're pregnant. And with the thing of us Nanobi staying together, our parents know about it, you know, because during the last year, during the hard lockdown, I think it was March, between March and April, obviously we had gone home, and I was completing my studies at home. So I was doing all the assessments, assignments, tests, yonke lando. So obviously at home you struggle with network, because I'm in the Eastern Cape. I was struggling with network, sometimes kupheli data. So Ubi was still working in Elliot that time, and he got Wi-Fi installed at his place, and he was like, no man, I want you to come and study here during the day, so that uyayazi uba ayizukusokolisa i-data connection and whatnot. So I'll fetch you in the morning, and then I'll take you home in the evening. When I knock off, I'll take you home. So I felt like it was so convenient for me, and it was so easy, because I put in as many hours that I would when I would be at school or at my place in Bloom. So everything became so easy, and my mom was happy about the arrangement. So then he got a post, and it was still locked down. He got a post in Bloom, and he decided that he wants to take me with. I also have a place in Bloomos. So I was like, okay, sure, because I'm already paying rent and I'm not staying there. So it's just a waste of money. Let me just go. Yabo. And I know that at my place, there's Wi-Fi, there's fiber actually. It will be easier for me to complete everything that I need to do, because if he's leaving now, obviously he's going to move out, and then no more Wi-Fi. So fast forward to my third trimester. I'm now back at home, because my mom was like, no, you need to come home so that I monitor you, and you need to be right in front of me, so that I know into rongo, and I know when you're about to go to labor. So I went home in February, and I was feeling sick. And then my mom decided that we're gonna go to the doctor. Unfortunately, all the GPs that day were fully booked, because it was right after the long weekend. I mean, not all the GPs, all the specialists were fully booked. And so we decided that we go to a GP, because the problem was I was vomiting, and you're not supposed to be vomiting except during your first trimester. But after that, I've learned that you actually do experience your first trimester symptoms during your third trimester. So I was vomiting, and my mother was panicking, because my mother gets paranoid a lot. And then we went to the doctor, and the doctor told me that the doctor took my vitals, yonke lando, and then he checked me, and he checked my baby, and he said that he's breech. He said that at the time I think I was 28 weeks pregnant, if not 30. But the doctor said that my baby is fully developed, and funeke ephumile ngoku, because since she was breech, anything might happen. Yo, breech. So when the baby is breech, it means that when she's being born or when she's being delivered, akazophuma ngentloko, instead uzaphuma ngeenyawo. So uhleli kakubi. But it does happen that umntana aziguqukele ngokwakhe. So the baby turns, or you can have it done by a doctor, a gynae. But that's not very nice. It's not pleasant at all because they literally hold your belly and then imagine the pain. So when the doctor said my baby's breech, he said that I need to schedule a C-section as soon as possible. And I was not about to do that because my birth plan was to give birth naturally. Because I don't understand why you would give birth by C-section if you're perfectly healthy. I had no complications. My pressure was okay. There was absolutely nothing wrong with me except that my baby was breech. So he transfers me to a gynae in Queenstown, and we go there on the Monday, and the gynae checks me, and luckily the time Messia Payana, the baby turned around and she was now in a normal position. So yeah, everything was still okay, and I now tell the doctor that no, I want to continue carrying the baby until it is my time to give birth. I don't want to do a forced cesarean even though I'm not ready for one. So let me just do this off camera because I feel like it's those pazamis for the talking. So after seeing the gynae, when I get home, I get a call from her office. And they're telling me that the medical aid did not cover. I need to pay cash. I'm like, what? What do you mean? And they said, no, the medical aid did not cover for your appointment. So I need to pay cash. So I called the medical aid administrators. And then I feel like there was a misunderstanding between us and them, or a miscommunication. I don't know. But so I asked them, but what happened? And then he was like, no. That guy was like, no, you didn't authorize. I'm like, how am I supposed to authorize? And then he told me that when you took the medical aid, the administrator was supposed to tell us that when we visit specialists, and just specialists, because for a GP you can go. When you visit specialists, the main member needs to call the medical aid administrator or whoever, and tell them that I have an appointment with the specialist, and then they have to have the details of the doctor, everything, the number, the address, everything, and check if they appear on the network or the network of doctors in the specific medical aid. So now I do not authorize. So I asked them, but okay, so what usually happens during an emergency? And then he asked me, but what kind of emergency? I'm like, any emergency, because right now I'm pregnant and I might go into labor anytime from now. And it's like, no, sis, we don't cover for giving birth or for deliveries. I'm like, what? And he tells me that the medical aid that we're on does not cover for deliveries, pregnancy, anything that is baby related. I'm telling you. So I'm like, the main reason why we took the specific medical aid was for us, and was for me and my doctor visits and my consultations and everything. Now you're telling me I'm about to give birth next week, but I don't have medical aid. How is that possible? Oh, I legit wanted to cry. I wanted to cry. I informed my man and the rest of the family. Everyone was worried, man, because obviously the expectation was not to give birth at a public hospital. With all the stigma and with everything that I was hearing, the stories, you know that they always have stories about abonesi and their resources, yongelando. So I wasn't in a position to put myself through that and to put my baby through that. So yeah, I tell my gynae about this, and I tell her how scared and nervous I am, and then she's like, "No, don't worry. I have friends in a public hospital in Queenstown. Maybe people will figure it out. In Queenstown, so I'll just transfer you, and maybe I'll just let them know and then transfer you." So Nyange, we go to Queenstown the following week, and they tell me they don't have any beds. Okay, fine. They send us home. Takes my details, asked if I can file in it, but obviously they checked me and did everything they were supposed to do, and they sent me home. The second time we went there, I was so traumatized. That was the most traumatizing thing I ever went through. When I get there, I get to the labor ward and some women are on the floor. Patients are on the floor. Bayalunya, they're in labor. They're having contractions. I don't know why they were on the floor, but still the beds were not enough. So I'm guessing that's why. So you're telling me that, you're telling me that women that are literally about to give birth are sitting on the floor and there are no beds for them. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it here. I can't be admitted. I told my mom, like, no, can you just go? I'll figure something out. Next thing, okay, so I decided to pull myself together and wait for the doctor to check me. Next thing, I'm on the bed, on the chair actually, and this other girl is on the bed, and we are separated by a curtain. I think she's screaming, and she's shouting for the nurse. And at some point, I was like, girl, are you okay? And she's like, no, can you please help me? I need the nurse. Obviously, I can't get out from where I'm sitting because I'm already strapped in that belt. Fine, I help her scream. That's all I could do. Nurse. And then eventually, no one comes. After that, she screams so loud. And I hear... I decided to just get up because obviously now this girl is about to die. I'm thinking to myself. And ahead. This girl gave birth on her own. Yeah. On her bed was just mucus, blood. Yo, guys, I can never get that image out of my head. I can never. I was crying with that girl. I'm like, what should I do? What can I do? Yo, guys, I'm sorry if I'm just putting everything into detail now. I'm sorry if you're a sensitive listener, but this is just my experience. This is what I went through, and I never recovered after that. I was scared. I was just like, if only there was a way to give birth and not go through something like that. I could not believe it. And then when the nurses came, they were not bothered. They just asked about why was she pushing, because they told her not to push and the baby was not ready to be born. I don't know, man. It was just also traumatic. At that point, I really felt like what I'm about to go through is not for the faint-hearted, because I felt like there's nothing worse than going through all of this and having people screaming at you and asking you why you were pushing. What was she supposed to do? Because no one was there to help her. I understand that it was packed and it was a busy day, but it's their job. So I felt like I don't want to go back there, because I wouldn't. If it happened to me, I would not forgive them. Because think about the risk of giving birth on your own. Think about what the baby goes through. First of all, the baby might get tired. It's just negligence. And I remember at some point B was like, no, we'll take you to a private hospital, we'll just pay in cash and we'll just try to cover for it. My mom also made that suggestion. His mom also made that suggestion, but I was like, no, guys. If we have complications, or my baby has complications, and we both get admitted, the more I stay there, the more it is. So I was like, no, I'm not trying to get any one of my family members into debt. Yeah. So that's when I went home. And I was like, I'm not coming back here. I went back on the day that they were supposed to induce me. But if I tell that story, it's going to be very long. This video is going to be very long. So this is the part where I'm going to leave things, and I think this is where I'll stop the video, you guys. There will be a part 2 of this video, because I feel like if I had told the whole story, then it was going to be like very long. So yeah, there will be a part 2, and that was my experience. That was my pregnancy journey. But one thing I want to say is that as much as I went through all of that, my pregnancy journey was I was very happy. I was very content. Everything was just so easy. Everything was just so peaceful because of the support that I had around me, my family, our friends. I enjoyed myself. I had the time of my life, and I feel like this is the one thing that I would love to experience again. But obviously, I find again. But I really had a good time. I was well taken care of. I was well looked after. I was content. I was very happy. I was really, really happy. And it's true when they say that days come where you really, really miss being pregnant. And I've experienced that. So, yeah, look out for part 2. And thank you for joining and thank you for listening. This was not to diss or to speak badly of public hospitals. This was just my experience. This is what I personally experienced. It doesn't mean that it's the way that they do things or it's the way that they handle things on a daily basis. It's just maybe I was unlucky at the time, and yeah, that's how I feel like right now. I don't want to go off on anyone. I don't want to go off on any hospital or medical aid or whatever. This was just what I experienced. It might not be that they treat people like this. So, yeah, this was my experience, and I hope that this never happens to anyone. I really hope that no one gets to experience what I experienced, or no one gets to see what I saw, because really, you have like put yourself in a position where you're about to give birth and you just see those things. Like, it's not nice. It wasn't nice for me. But anyways, part 2 is coming, and I hope you guys tune in, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Bye guys, see you soon.